Hey and welcome, I'm Hammeh, and guess what? We have now a new Hero 28 teaser, and I don't think that Hero 28 is going to be what everyone has thought or speculated it to be. Now here's why. So on the Overwatch Twitter we have nonetheless a little looping GIF of this particular image. Now there are some things in it which people might think confirm what they suspected from last year. I'm going to go out on a limb and say I don't think it's what everyone suspected at all, and there's a nice little detail that I think people have missed in here, which I'm going to share with you now. So we see in this image, in the middle, of course, this looks like King's Row. We've got the anti-Omnic posters. We've got all of those details that we're familiar with. We have Licio in concert. We've already seen that on King's Row. We also have no bots. This feels a very King's Row type vibe. And then, of course, we see, power for New Horizons. The idea of power and space, of the moon being a source of mining materials explored in Duncan James's Moon with Sam Rockwell. Thank you, Wiser Half, for introducing me to that wonderful film, as well as many other science fiction concepts. The idea of energy on new planets is interesting. Who knows where this power for New Horizons is coming from? You see in the background there a scrapyard poster. That might be a Junkertown Queen type reference. The scrapyard, of course, being the piece of the level at the end of Junkertown. I think that's an S. I think that's yard. Scrapyard, something else yard. Need to enhance and try and get the contrast on that a little bit different. But I think that might just be a little Junkertown Queen nod in terms of something. But clearly the focus of the image is building our future in space. We see two primates. Smaller primates, indeed, perhaps chimps, something like that. Very much not the gorillas that we know of Winston and of the lunar colony already. However, most people would think, oh my goodness, Hammond, what's going on there? Now, there's something else here, building our future in space. And our two sort of little primates. But have you noticed something else in this image? Now, I'm actually going to cut to this little zoom in. So, what I'm going to do is just draw a little circle around something that I don't think people are going to notice. Oh my goodness, what's this? Oh my goodness, what's this in the middle? Is that a dog? I hear you ask. That is certainly a dog. It's a dog. And hey, the tradition of dogs in space since the Soviets, since the space race, since Sputnik and all that kind of stuff, dogs have been in space for quite a bunch of time. Now, we always thought that Hammond was going to be a chimp or some smaller kind of primate. And the reason for that is because there's a well-established sort of canon so far of Horizon of gorillas being on the moon. We know that gorillas are on the moon. Winston was there being experimented on, genetic therapy. The smartest of all the gorillas, as Dr. Harold Winston, his mentor, says to Yoshida in this image. These are all on the monitor terminals from various blogs around Horizon's release last year. By the way, you can find these in-game or on the Overwatch blog. We knew that Specimen 8, Hammond, was missing along with Winston because of the numbers here, because of the not found, again, also in the lunar colony level. We know that Hammond is missing, his cage has been empty. Why did we have smaller subjects, says Zhang to the rest of the scientists. We thought, gorillas on the moon, smaller subjects. Zhang sort of talking about Hammond. Hammond must be a chimp. In the monitoring section of Horizon, when you have a look outside of the first attacker's spawn, you can also see various images of chimps on the monitors of the gorillas going around the facility, of one that looks smaller. We thought that was Hammond. I think Hammond might be a dog. Now, there's one thing that people will argue against this. We see Specimen 8 Hammond, his room was busted out of. We can see that we have the little prototype blueprint of Winston getting out of the moon, getting off of the moon. We can see the little sort of pod there in the middle of that diagram. I've done a video on this before, by the way, I'll link it in the description below. And the grappling hook, illustrated by this wonderful little sphere and this rocket. Now, in this cage, in this container that we see in front, there is a panel that is missing a side panel. All of that goes off into the presumably ventilation system. Now, we do see bananas and we do see carrots. So, is this Hammond's quarters? Is Hammond the hero? Hammond could still be a chimpanzee. We could assume that Hammond is a chimpanzee and Hammond was living in these quarters. But that doesn't mean that Hero 28 is going to be Hammond or Hero 28 is going to be a chimpanzee. So I still think there's a potential that Hero 28 could well be a dog hero. And who knows what fans of Jetpack Cat are going to think of that. So this was all added, by the way. This, what I'm showing you, is added to a recent update of Horizon that's not as of yet in-game. It's on the public test realm along with the new Symmetra update. So we've got quite an update coming. We've got Hero 28 pretty soon. This is a teaser for Hero 28, most certainly, this image that we've been having a look at. We have the Symmetra update and we have the Horizon Lunar Colony updates. Now, to add speculation further on top of things, Flores in this message talks about strange sounds in the ventilation system. It looks as though from the image that we've just had a look at that Hammond kind of got, into the vents if Hammond is the chimpanzee, and may have sort of had little stashes and things to hide out with. Now, at another place on Horizon, this is in the new high ground above Point A, you can see a little stash of like carrots, you can see a little stash of like bananas, a potato there or something, little data pad, things like that. That doesn't look as though anyone could actually fit in those air vents, but maybe that's a little stash or sort of a separate bit of the air vents or something like that. That's not a place you just randomly keep those items, I would imagine. So who knows, maybe it's a little stash for a hero or something like that. So the interesting question that we now have as we go back, could this be a bait and switch to finish up with? I think this could be an Ify, a Orisa style bait and switch, where we were shown Ify and we were like, oh, Ify can't be a hero, she's a child. How can a child be attacked in a game? Overwatch is a T14 12 rated game or so. So how about the story of Hero 28 is to do with the Lunar Colony. We've got the Lunar Colony level changes that I've shown you. We have this now teaser talking about space, building our future in space. We have power for New Horizons. So this image could be a few things. It could be sort of leading us in with these chimps and saying, oh, Hammond, but then Hammond being used like Ify was last year. Let's say Hammond is a chimp. He might not even be a chimp. But Hammond being used to bait us in and then switching it for something in terms of, I don't know, maybe perhaps a different kind of animal hero from the moon. We've actually also got the usual King's Row Omnic references here as well, and no bots very prominently in the middle of that image. Maybe it could be something Omnic from the moon even. Omnic from the moon base, that could be interesting. But I am thinking that it's unlikely that Hammond as a chimp or a chimp is going to be Hero 28. I think it's going to be something else, and I do have to wonder that there's this little subtly hidden dog detail. It's kind of almost hidden in plain sight. We've kind of got two of these kind of monkeys here, but we actually only have that dog. Now, aside the Junkertown tween stuff, aside this sort of powerful New Horizon stuff, I do wonder what that could be. So there we go, new hero teaser time. It's generally a week and a half or so in terms of lead up until new hero. So we could expect this new hero on the PTR news. Who knows, maybe as early as next week, maybe the very latest I would imagine at the end of July. Let's not forget that the Overwatch League finals, the playoff, the finals are going to be starting for season 1, sort of the I think it's 11th of July, so there's a lot of stuff to go on before then, and I do wonder whether we're going to see Hero 28 maybe in the next week and a half or so. So there you go, that is my massive speculation. What do you think though of that image? That is the most important question. I would love to know your thoughts. As always, if you like this video, please do throw a like, subscribe, comment. I will love to hear all your theories, all of your analysis in the comments below. I do a whole bunch of videos on Overwatch lore. If you've never visited my channel before, heroes, interactions, and voice lines, be covering all of this, as well as different gaming lore at weekends. Check out the playlist here for more. Big thanks to my patrons on Patreon who make these videos possible. Hero 28 time, guys. What do you think? I'd really love to hear what you are theorizing from this video. Cheers for tuning in. I've been Hammeh. Take it easy.